In this tutorial, we will work through Tiberius Passage 1 in Fagan and Murgatroyd, an abbreviated version of Tacitus Annales, Book 1, chapters 61 through 62. Be sure to do the following as you work through the tutorial. Pause the recording to review, and rewind if you need to listen to material more than once. Take notes on vocabulary and constructions. You should be able to translate the material and explain a lot of the grammar after this, and answer the questions posed in the tutorial. This is graded homework. You should have a written record of your answers to these questions. This passage we looked at in class, Cupido Caesarem Germanicum, that is, invadit, solvendi suprema militibus ducique, per moto ad miserationem omni exercitu ob propinquos amicos, denique ob casus bellorem et sortem hominum. Desire, invadit, not so much attacked, but took hold of Caesar, in our text Germanicus. Desire, solvendi. Solvendi is a gerund in the genitive case. Desire for solvendi suprema. Performing, here, paying what's due, performing the suprema, the last rites, for the soldiers and the leader. Per moto ad miserationem omni exercitu, the entire army, having been moved to compassion, to sorrow, ob propinquos, on account of propinquos, relatives, ob amicos, on account of friends, denique, in short or at last, on account of the casus bellorum, the misfortunes of battles, of wars, et sortem hominum, and the fate of men. Prima vari castra, lato ambitu, trium legionum manus ostentabant, den semiruto valo, humili fossa acisa iam reliquiae concedisse intellegebantur. Subject castra, main verb ostentabant, manus. The camp, the first camp of Varus, ostentabant, showed the manus, accusative plural, hands, but here it's going to mean the work, the labor accomplished by hands. The first camp of Varus, lato ambitu, with its wide circumference or perimeter, gave evidence for the manus, the labors, the accomplishments of the three legions. Trium legionum, genitive plural. Legio legionis, genitive plural legionum. Then, semiruto valo, in the half-destroyed rampart, at the half-destroyed rampart, humili fossa, at the shallow ditch, both ablatives, wallow, fossa. Achisai iam reliquiae, the remnants, the remains, iam achisai, already wounded, already having been weakened, intellegebantur, were understood, concedisse, to have taken up a position. Be sure to write down number 1, manus, and give the case, function, and meaning of this word. And number 2, ostentabant and intellegebantur. Be sure to write those words down and comment on the way Tacitus uses the physical signs to tell the narrative. As the soldiers see these physical signs, what are they understanding? Medio campi albentia ossa, ut fugerant, ut restiterant, disjecta vel agerata. Adiacebant fragmina telorum, equorumque artus, simul truncis arborum antefixa ora. Lucis propinquis barbarae arae, apud quas tribunos ac centuriones mactaverant. We start with ablative in the middle of the field, albentia ossa, white bones, or perhaps whitening bones, whitened bones. Ut fugerant, as they had fled, ut restiterant, as they had taken a stand, disjecta, scattered, or agerata, piled up. We could understand there were bones, scattered, or piled up. Which were the bones scattered? Those were the bones of men, soldiers who had fled. Which were piled up? These were the bones of groups that had taken a stand. And notice we have A, B, a rather complex example of synthesis. Synthesis. A-B, interlocking word order. Adiacebant fragmina telorum, equorumque artus. Fragmina, fragments, broken pieces of weapons, and artus, limbs of horses, were lying nearby. Adiacebant. Notice here, nominative subject followed by genitive, genitive, then the nominative. A-B, B-A, and we call this pattern chiasmus. For number 3 and 4, 3, write down the word synthesis, and 4, write down the word chiasmus, and give an example for each. Simul truncis arborum antefixa ora. And again, there were ora, faces, antefixa, attached, nailed, perhaps heads nailed to the trunks of trees. Simul here at the same time or as well, in addition. There were faces affixed to the trunks of trees. Lucis propinquis, in the nearby groves. Understand there were barbarae arai, barbarian altars. Apud quas, at which, mactaverant, and these are the German enemies, they had sacrificed the tribunes and the centurions. For number 5, consider the special relevance of the word barbarai here. What makes these altars barbarian, apart from the fact that they were erected by peoples considered barbarians by the Romans? Et cladis eius superstites pugnam aut vincula e lapsi referebant hic cecidisse legatos illic raptas aquilas. Primum ubi vulnus varo ad actum, ubi infelici dextera et suo ictu mortem invenerit. Quo tribunali contionatus Arminius, quot patibula captivis, quae scrobes, utque aquilis per superbiam inlucerit. And the survivors of this calamity, this disaster, this horrific military defeat, superstites, the ones left standing, pugnam aut vincula e lapsi, deponent participle, having slipped away, having escaped the fight or shackles. In other words, they had been captured, enslaved, and then ransomed by Roman relatives. Having escaped the fight or bondage, referebant, they were relating, they were narrating, they were telling that here had fallen the lieutenants, there had been captured the eagles, the standards. They were telling that the lieutenants had fallen here, the eagles, raptas esse illic, there. I'll pause here and continue the lesson in the next tutorial.